I swear I have never wanted to launch. Someone strayed out of an airplane at 37,000 feet, more than I did that day. The moment I settled into my window seat, the one I shelled out extra cash for after a full year of overtime. Misery. This woman, in a leopard print, mask and huge sunglasses, stomped up, jabbed a finger at me like I'd stolen a vital organ, and declared loudly enough to rattle the overhead bins, "Young man, I have life-threatening allergies. I need that window seat or I could die." My stomach plummeted because her eyes weren't frightened. They were shining with weird triumph. The whole cabin froze. Flight attendants, passengers, even the half-asleep guy whose neck pillow was slipping off his head. She kept going. "The air quality is better by the window. Everyone knows that. If I sit in the middle, I'll go into anaphylaxis, and it'll be on your conscience." I sat there speechless because I was literally holding a doctor's note, explaining my anxiety. I need the window seat so I don't panic during takeoff. But before I could defend myself, she whipped out a tiny spray bottle, mist of the air like some deranged priest-blessing crowd, and fake cough so violently I thought her lungs might eject. The flight attendant, let's call her Maria, rushed over with that practiced customer service smile, asking what was wrong. Karen dove straight into an Oscar-worthy performance. Hand on chest, voice cracking. I forgot my EpiPen. I can feel it starting already. The recycled air back there. Half the plane turned on me instantly, glaring like I was actively choking her with the atmosphere. My face burned. I'm 28, but when I stress I look about 12, and I could already hear the silent judgment. "Just give her the seat, kid." I was about to give in, because who wants to be the villain in a medical emergency when the aisle seat guy next to me, an older man wearing a Navy vet hat, leaned forward and said, calm as gravity, "Ma'am, I'm actually a doctor. Let me check your vitals real quick." Karen's eyes widened for a fraction of a second, like a deer realizing the headlights belonged to a semi, but she snapped back into character, grabbing her throat. "Yes, please, hurry." Dr. Mike found out his name later, pulled a pulse oximeter out of his carry-on, like it was a toothbrush. "Finger, please." She hesitated, then reluctantly offered a perfectly manicured hand, dripping in rings. He clipped it on. 30 long seconds of silence. Everyone staring at the screen. 98% oxygen. Heart rate 72. Completely normal. Then he smiled, the sweetest and deadliest smile I've ever witnessed. "Ma'am, your oxygen levels are excellent. Absolutely no respiratory distress. Actually, mind, if I listen to your lungs." He already had a stethoscope ready. Karen went ghost pale under a construction-grade layer of foundation. I'm fine now." It passed. Dr. Mike wasn't done. "Funny thing, I'm allergic to cats. Badly. That spray smells exactly like the Febreze pet odor eliminator my ex-wife used to hide her 6 Persians. You wouldn't happen to own cats, would you?" The cabin went silent. Karen opened her mouth, closed it, open again. Someone snorted from the back. Then another. Within seconds, half the plane was laughing. Her face turned the exact shade of the emergency exit sign. Maria, bless her, didn't miss a beat. "Ma'am," attempting to forcibly displace another passenger with fake medical claims as a federal offense. "But since we're about to depart, we have another option." She pressed the call button for first class. Another attendant appeared. Maria whispered something, pointed at Karen, then at me and Dr. Mike. 2 minutes later, before we even backed away from the gate, they were moving our bags. Karen thought she was getting upgraded for her trouble. Wrong. They escorted her to the jump seat in the Back, right beside the bathroom that looked like it hadn't been cleaned since the last ice age. And me and Dr. Mike, we were escorted the opposite direction through the curtain into the mint suite of the Airbus A321, the one with the lie-flat bed, sliding door and do not disturb light. As the attendant handed me a warm cookie and a glass of champagne, I looked back just in time to see Karen wedged between two massive roller bags, fake coughing, into an air sickness bag, while real passengers quietly cackle behind their masks. That's when I realized this would be the greatest flight of my life and the absolute worst of hers. We'd barely hit cruising altitude when the seatbelt sign dinged off and the real show began. I was still in disbelief, stretched out like I'd won a sweepstakes, when the curtain tore open, and there she stood, Karen red-faced, clutching a complaint form and a tiny bottle of hand sanitizer, like a weapon. They had apparently released her from the luggage dungeon for safety reasons, but only after making her sign something. She spotted me instantly, eyes narrowing like laser scopes. "You," she hissed, marching straight toward my pod. "This is discrimination. I have a documented condition." Dr. Mike raised an eyebrow over his complimentary whiskey, documented by WebMD, I assume. The entire mint cabin, maybe 12, people went silent. Phones came out. Someone whispered World Star. Karen ignored him and unleashed her fury at me. "I know your type. Entitled. Millennial. You think the world owes you everything. I've been flying longer than you've been alive, and I deserve respect." Before I could answer, Maria appeared. Again, this time with two actual air marshals, both built like refrigerators. "Ma'am," Maria said, voice cold enough to freeze water. "You were warned. Return to your assigned seat." Karen spun dramatically. "Do you know who my husband is? He's Platinum Elite. One. Call and you're all fired." One marshal, huge and stone-faced, replied, "Ma'am," threatened the crew again, and we divert to Nebraska. "Your call." You could have heard a pretzel crumble. Karen opened her mouth, shut it, then did the most Karen thing possible. She started crying. Not a few tears. Massive, theatrical, mascara melting. Sobs while fanning herself. The complaint form. "I can't breathe" back. There, someone was eating peanuts. I'm going into shock. Half the mint cabin rolled their eyes so hard I thought they might invert. That's when Dr. Mike stood up, calm as a monk, and delivered the line that blew up the internet later that night. "Funny, I'm dangerously allergic to peanuts too. Yet here I am, breathing just fine." Then he reached into his pocket and pulled out an unopened packet of Delta peanuts, the exact bag they'd handed out 10 minutes earlier, and slowly, almost dramatically, peeled it open. The smell floated into the air. Karen's crying stopped instantly, like a sound engineer cut the audio. Dead. Silence. She stared at the peanuts as if they were radioactive. Dr. Mike grinned. "Want one?" Karen backed up a step, then another, and suddenly sprinted down the aisle, shrieking, "I'm being assaulted," as passengers openly filmed her wobbling in 4-inch wedges. The marshals didn't even chase her. They just followed at a casual stroll, radios crackling like this was a Tuesday. Maria looked at us, shrugged, and said, "We've got it handled. Enjoy your flight." Then she slid the pod door closed, locked the privacy latch, and the entire mint cabin erupted in applause. I thought that was a finale. I was so incredibly wrong. 20 minutes later, the captain came. Over the PA, "Folks, a quick update. We've had a passenger become disruptive. For everyone's safety, we will be making an unscheduled stop in Kansas City so local authorities can have a chat with her." The plane cheered, like full stadium. Noise. That's when the teenage girl across the Io, who had been live streaming the entire saga on TikTok, leaned toward me and whispered, "Bro, you're at 1.2 million views already and climbing." Dr. Mike just lifted his whiskey and said, "To window seats and actual doctors." Little did I know, the real plot twist hadn't even taken off yet, and it wasn't about peanuts or allergies or even the seat. It was about why Karen needed that exact window spot on that exact flight so desperately she staged a full medical meltdown in front of federal officers. And when the truth came out 40 minutes later, straight from the cockpit, even, the marshals looked rattled. We were somewhere over Iowa, enjoying our second round of champagne, when the cockpit door opened and the captain himself stepped out, no hat, tie loosened, expression like he'd seen a ghost. He stopped right in front of our pods, crouched so only Dr. Mike and I could. "Here, gentlemen, you're not going to believe what TSA just sent us." My stomach did a full flip. Dr. Mike sat down his glass. The captain continued, "That woman, her real name isn't Karen Miller. It's Karen Moretti. Ring any bells?" It meant nothing to me, but Dr. Mike's face turned to stone. "Moretti?" he murmured. "As in Vincent Moretti?" The captain nodded. I blinked. "Who is Vincent Moretti?" Dr. Mike leaned toward me, voice low. "Only the biggest jewelry smuggler on the East Coast. Got indicted last year for moving $42 million in conflict diamonds through JFK. His wife skipped bail 3 weeks ago. Guess who? Matches the description, right down to the leopard mask." My jaw practically hit the lie flat bed. The captain kept going. "TSA flagged her the moment we transmitted the passenger manifest after the diversion threat. She didn't want your window seat because of allergies. She wanted it because there's a hidden panel behind the bulkhead in row 12A. Customs dogs missed it last month, but TSA finally figured out how her couriers were moving the stone sewn inside the seat cushion. I felt every drop of blood leave my body. I had been sitting on $42 million worth of blood diamonds. Karen didn't want airflow. She wanted to rip the seat open mid-flight, pull out the stash, and swallow the condom-wrapped packages like old-school smugglers used. That's why she screamed, cried, and threatened prison. She was desperate. Her husband's trial starts in 4 days. Without the diamonds as leverage, he flips, and she rots in federal custody. The spray bottle? Not Febreze, liquid, laxative. She was planning to get sick, lock herself in a lab for an hour, and retrieve the package the old-fashioned way. The peanut reaction? Real allergy, just not deadly. She panicked because swelling would make swallowing the packets impossible. Dr. Mike started laughing so hard a flight attendant rushed over thinking he was choking. The captain stood. "FBI will meet us on the tarmac in Kansas City. They're letting you continue on to JFK after they pull the stones only because they want her on camera trying to access the seat." She basically confessed by demanding row 12A in writing 3 separate times. He looked at me and grinned. "By the way, son, because you refuse to give up your seat and trigger her meltdown, the U.S. attorney is filing paperwork to grant you the federal whistleblower reward, 10% of the seized value." I ran the numbers in my head. For $0.2 million. Dr. Mike lifted his glass again to the kid who paid $89 for a window seat and accidentally dismantled an international crime ring. The mint cabin toasted me. Someone started clapping. Then the whole plane, even economy, joined in when the captain announced it, minus the classified parts. Karen Moretti was escorted off in Kansas City in cuffs, still wearing the leopard mask, shrieking about allergies while FBI agents tore open my old seat and pulled Out pouch after pouch of glittering. Stones. The last thing I saw before we took off. Again, her standing on the jet bridge, mascara streaking, staring at the mint. Sweet window where I was busy living my best life. I waved. She flipped me off with both cuffed hands. Worth it. And that, my friends, is how I turned an $89 upgrade into a $4.2 million reward. A free lifetime Mint Pass and the greatest flight story anyone will ever hear. Moral of the story, never give up your window seat to a Karen, no matter how dramatic the allergies sound. Sometimes, the real allergy is the consequences. If you enjoyed this chaos, hit that subscribe button. Every subscription helps me deliver even more wild HOA stories. And don't forget to tap the bell so you never miss a new upload. I'll see you in the next one where justice gets even sweeter.